Alright, so this is an introductory video for Blackboard in 497. Professional nursing issues. When you open up the class, you're going to come to the home page. The home page is going to have announcements on it. To read announcements, just hit more announcements and you can see any announcements that have been done in the class. However, all announcements will be emailed to you also, and you should get notifications. The homepage also has any alerts and anything that's past due on it, your tasks, all those things. Then you have the Getting Started page. The Getting Started page is kind of important because there's an acknowledgement that you need to do. The acknowledgement is due July 15th. It is just do it or and pass, don't do it and don't pass. All you have to do is hit begin and you acknowledge that you have read and that you understand everything. So hit true. If you don't hit true, you won't pass the test, and then you save it. And you'll get a little receipt via email that is done. Then there's faculty information tab. It's a little bit about me if you care to read about it. Then the nitty-gritty course documents. Right now it's just the calendar and the syllabus. I will be adding this video after it's done. The calendar, I'm not going to go over everything in the calendar, but I will go over some highlights that are kind of important. Oh, this is the calendar, not the syllabus. So, the first day is Monday, the third day is Wednesday, the seventh day is Sunday. You will have 3 discussion boards and a resume. The initial post on the discussion board, each discussion board is 20%. The initial post on the discussion board is due Wednesday, and then 2 cross posts due by the Sunday of the month, or of the week, I apologize. Please understand and read the rubric, and I would read it again. I sent it to everybody, but I did tweak it a little bit. Please follow the rubric and you will get all the points. If you don't follow the rubric, you won't get the points. It's very simplistic. Excellent is excellent. So I've highlighted what is the meat and bones of your discussion board postings. So to get an excellent, you need to have multiple examples, evidence from your readings, and other scholarly resources. For feedback and interaction, you need to have cross posts to at least 2 peers that are substantial in nature, which means more than, hey, good job. You need to add to the conversation with additional information. And then I've also put what it means to have an excellent post as far as writing. Writing is worth 20 points of your discussion board, so if you want to have an excellent, you need to have 1 or less errors. 1 or no errors, basically. I believe that it's very important for a baccalaureate prepared nurse to sound professional and educated. Therefore, you need to be professional and grammatically correct in your writing. The syllabus, again, I'm not going to go over the entire syllabus, but I will go over some things that are important in the syllabus. All of the student outcomes should be the same in every class that you've taken. one of the more important things is that you need to have access to a computer because this is an online class. Anytime you email your instructor, you need to put the subject title of the email on the class number. So an example, Nurse 497, the student's name and the topic. If it is not a USC email address, the teacher will not respond. Then there's some information about the discussion boards, which is basically what I just told you. Online class activities, including discussion boards. You should check in at least 3 times a week. You're required to participate in the discussion board area by posting an initial post, which is due on the 3rd day, so that's Wednesday, and 2 cross posts, which are due on the 7th day. The 3 posts that are required cannot be posted on the same day. This is a discussion, and if you post everything in the same day, you're not really discussing, now are you? You want to post early, your initial post, you want to post early so that other people have a chance to respond to you. Do not put attachments in the discussion board area. The discussion board should be a discussion board in the discussion board area. So if you, like I like to write my post in Microsoft Word before I write my discussion board, because my computer has certain software that will make my posts not have grammatical errors, or I can use APA in my actual Microsoft Word, and I cut and paste it into the discussion board. So you can do that, but please do not attach a Word document into the discussion board. Professional tone, online etiquette, and scholarly writing is expected. Your discussions need to be proofed for content, for spelling, and for any grammatical errors prior to posting. You should not ask personal questions in the discussion question form. There is a spot for questions to the instructor. If it's a question that the entire class can benefit from, please use that. If it's not a question the entire class could benefit from, it's private, please send me an email. The breakdown of how you're graded: 20% for each discussion board, 40% for the resume. Again, rubric, and you should be fine. The code of conduct, the course policies, the grading scale, which I know everybody's all concerned about, withdrawal policy, late assignments, APA, all that good stuff is within the syllabus here for you. All right, now weekly guides. All right, we have 4 modules. One is information technology. The second is code of ethics. Module 3 is professional nursing organizations, and module 4 is professional development. I will talk more about, I'll just talk about it now. Module 1, information technology. What you need to do, this is your overview. So you want to take a look at your nursing career. If you're a seasoned nurse, then you will remember the days of written documentation. I'm a seasoned nurse, but we didn't have written documentation when I started. I started nursing in 2006, and they had just really transitioned to the electronic health record. There were a couple of times when the computers went down that I had to do paperwork. I hated it. It took me an hour to do meds when the computer system went down. So I am very thankful for my EMR. So the EMR has improved communication and safety efforts within healthcare. I know that a lot of hospitals in the upstate use Epic, which I love Epic. My hospital went to it last June. Well, it's July now, so a year ago, June 2017. And, you know, it gives us warnings. We can break the glass and see documentation in other areas, at other hospitals. I love it. I think it's great. I think it's improved a lot of issues that our old EMR couldn't do. And there's still some improvements that could be done, but it's much better than what it was. And we want to look at how it's impacted care. So your learning objectives for the first week describe how critical thinking, creative thinking, and systems thinking support clinical reasoning. You're going to discuss the importance of reflective clinical reasoning as a source of learning and power. Going to discuss issues related to the use of internet and electronic information in nursing education, practice, and research. For example, what about patients who don't realize that the information they're getting should be evidence-based and peer-reviewed? There's a lot of websites out there that are fear-mongering, and patients don't know how to sift through what's true and what's not true. Discuss why the use of data rather than tradition is an issue for today's professional nursing practice, and discuss issues related to the use of information technology in healthcare. So your to-do list for the first week, you're going to acknowledge getting started. You're going to do your reading, which I'll talk about below, and then you're going to do your discussion threads. The first one is an introduction. It's not graded. Just go and talk about yourself, and I'll talk a little bit more about that when I get to the discussion threads. And then you're going to do your Module 1 discussion thread, which is graded. So the reading that you're going to do is one of the articles by American Nurse Today. It talks about healthcare information and management systems. It's entitled Nursing Technology and Information Systems. And there's the link to go to it. And then there's another article that was in the Journal of Medical Internet Research it's more recent, and it talks about health information technology and how that is having a positive effect on medical outcomes, and the link for it is right there. Your discussion thread for this first week: how has information technology impacted healthcare, especially nursing? What are the pros and cons of increased technology utilization at the bedside? You want to make sure you incorporate an example of how technology impacts your practice. And again, make sure you look at the rubric and make sure you look at discussion thread tips. And then I will talk about Module 2, Module 3, Module 4 as it comes. The assignment tab, there's one assignment and it's due at the very end, your resume submission. It's not due till August 5th. Discussions. So discussions are right here. So if you have any general questions, you're going to post right here. If you have any discussion thread questions, you want to post right here. And any assignment questions, you're going to post right here. Again, please only post questions that would be beneficial to you and the entire class. If you have any personal questions, like, you know, my grade, please personally email me. You want to introduce yourself in the first week, so what you do, what you plan to do, and an interesting fact about yourself. If you want to say more, you can. If you don't want to say more, you don't have to. And then our 3 modules are right there. And then, of course, if you have any, if you want to look at your grades, anything really is right here. But the most important thing for you guys would be my grades, which is right there, and then send email. There's a lot of other links that you don't really need to know about. Any information that you need to know as far as helping, Blackboard has a help area for students. It's right there if you have any questions. You could also YouTube it. You'd be surprised what you could find. And last but most definitely not least is the resources tab. So if you ever have any APA questions, go to this tab. There is a link to the Al Purdue website, a sample APA paper that Dr. Blevins did an overview of APA on. The link is right there to watch it, and then you want to print the paper out. Another Purdue Al link for references. And then there's a Breeze presentation, and then the APA style blog. The APA that is made by the American Psychological Association. I usually just go to Google and ask it a question and look for an answer that has apastyle.org in it and go there. If you plan on getting your master's or your doctorate, I highly suggest the publication manual, because if you think that baccalaureate prepared teachers or those that teach baccalaureate classes are APA ridiculous, those that teach master's and doctorate level classes are very serious about APA. This is just the basics here. It gets very serious in your doctor level classes. Alright, so that is pretty much an overview of the class and the first week. Please do not hesitate to contact me, and I'll be in touch with you. Thank you.